Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to check the Diatone GT-R349HD mini racing quadcopter. In this video I'm going to quickly go over its features and then head outdoors and test it using 2, 3 and 4S Lipo batteries. Just like pretty much all the quadcopters by Diatone, the GT-R349HD is a plug-and-play racer, which means that it doesn't come with a radio receiver. However, it does come with an FrSky RxSL plug, so in case you are an FrSky user, you can just plug an FrSky RxSL receiver, and then all you need to do is bind the receiver to your remote controller. You probably already noticed the Foxy Lollipop 2 FPV antenna, and you are not going to get it along with the quadcopter. I just added it for my test, and you're going to get it with this simple linear antenna with an IPX antenna connector. In terms of specifications, on the center you can find the Diatone Mamba F25 Mini all-in-one stack. The bottom board is a 25A BLLES 4-in-1 ESC. On the center you can find an F4 flight controller. On top of it, the CADDX Turtle V2 HD FPV camera board. And on top, the RunCam TX200 VTX, which supports 48 channels, features smart audio, and has a selectable output strength of 25 and 200 mW. On the front you can find the CADDX Turtle HD V2 FPV camera. This version comes with a plastic lens. And in terms of motors, the GT-R349HD is using the Mamba 1408 4000 kV motors, which can handle up to 4S Lipo batteries. Inside this box you're only getting a single set of Gemfen 3028 propellers, so I recommend to get extra ones. On the bottom you can find a unibody bottom plate. Its wheelbase is 135mm. Its thickness is 4mm. The distance between the back motors and the front ones is about 8.5 cm, and the distance between the right motors and the left ones is about 10.5 cm, so this is a Squish X frame. The canopy is soft mounted both on the front and on the back in order to reduce the vibrations which can create jello in your flight footage. On the front you can find some protection for the CADDX Turtle V2 FPV camera lens, which is important because in my experience this plastic lens can scratch pretty easily. The camera angle is adjustable and you can set it all the way up to this position and all the way down to this position. When I flew the quadcopter, the camera lens was set to somewhere in between and you could see the propellers in the flight footage, and I can estimate that if you're going to set the camera all the way up to the top, the propellers are not going to be seen. The total weight of the GT-R349HD, including the upgrade FPV antenna and also the RxSL receiver, is 148.4 grams. So it's of course much heavier than its younger brother, which I've recently reviewed, the GT-R249HD. Now by the way, these two quadcopters are using the same canopy and the Mamba F25 mini stack. However, the similarities ends here, since the GT-R249HD is using the RunCam Split Mini 2 HD FPV camera, and the GT-R349HD is using the CADDX Turtle V2. In addition, the wheelbase of the GT-R349 is 135mm, and the wheelbase of the GT-R249 is 115mm, so you can use it with up to 2.5-inch propellers. And the GT-R249HD is using 1105 motors, and the GT-R349HD is using 1408 motors. The next thing I've done is to head outdoors and test the GT-R349HD using 2, 3 and 4S Lipo batteries. I was told by Diatone to stick to 3S Lipo batteries, otherwise the jello is going to be very noticeable. However, I can tell you that in my experience, even when using a 4S Lipo battery, the jello wasn't that noticeable and the quadcopter performed great. Out of the batteries I tested, I recommend to stick to 550 mAh, 3 or 4S Lipo batteries, and I can estimate that the flight time when pushing the throttle is going to be around 3 minutes. In my opinion, after comparing the HD flight footage, the GT-R349HD did better than the 249HD, so if you're debating which version to get, I recommend to get the bigger brother. Anyway, these two versions are not suitable for flying indoors, and the GT-R349HD costs only $20 more than the GT-R249HD. Now you probably wonder if it's worth upgrading the linear antenna to the Foxy Lollipop antenna, and I can tell you that in my experience it did extend the range by a bit, but if you want to truly extend the range of your flight, you should use a different VTX, since in my experience this one is not so great. One thing that I always recommend to do, and this time I forgot to, is to secure the battery leads to the frame of the quadcopter. And as you can see, this wire was cut and I had to fix it. And securing the battery leads to the quadcopter is very important because, first of all, in case of a crash, the battery leads can be pulled and then the battery pad on the ESC can be pulled along with it. And of course, the wire can be also cut by the propeller, which is what happened to me. So don't be lazy and always remember to secure the battery leads to the frame using a zip tie. So I hope you will enjoy the flight footage, and by the way, I used the default stock tuning and they seem to work great. As always, if you have any questions about this quadcopter, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.
You want to dance? You want to dance?